Hello, welcome to Career 101. I'm Matthew. Here at Career 101, I break down some of the elements in starting your career. Things like finding a job, what do titles and roles really mean, and a breakdown of certain industries. So today we're going to talk about mentoring. What is a mentor and why a mentor is important? So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to talk through it. Here we go. So what is a mentor and why do they matter? So a mentor is a person who is further along in their career or life than you are. So it could be someone who's 30 years your senior. It could actually be someone who's just a couple of years further along. If you're just finishing up or near finishing up college, for example, someone who's 2 years into their career might be really helpful and might actually give you the most practical advice, more than someone who's 30 years in a career and quite a bit further along. So, but in general, and you can have more than one, but in general, it's someone who's further along in their career or life. And they're usually not related to you. It's not ideal to say, well, my mom or dad is my mentor, because a mentor is someone who really should be able to give you some candid feedback, maybe tell you some feedback you don't really want to hear. And a parent who's raised you most of their life, all of your life, they're probably not going to give you that candid feedback. So ideally, you want someone not related to you. It could be an aunt or uncle. It could be a cousin, someone like that. But a parent or even a grandparent is not ideal. Third thing a mentor is someone who wants to help you. They, for some reason, have taken a genuine interest in you. You have some sort of connection, and this person wants to help you along in your life and your career. And why is a mentor helpful? Why do they matter? They're helpful because they're someone you can have regular communication with. As you go through your life and your career, you're going to come across questions that you don't really know the answer to, and you want someone to bounce ideas off. Hey, my boss just did this. Is this normal? Should I expect more of this? What does this mean? A mentor can be there to answer questions. And that regular communication could be lots of different things. It doesn't mean that you're talking every day. It could mean that you email each other every few months. It could be that when you're deciding whether to accept a position or you think you want to leave, you might actively talk with that person 2 or 3 or 4 times over the course of a week or two. But there's some sort of regular communication. And in light of that, it doesn't even need to be someone in the same city as you. Email and phone can be an effective way to communicate. A little better if you can have a cup of coffee or get together in some way on a recurring basis, but not necessary. There's also someone who you can bounce ideas off of. This is someone who you should be able to really talk very candidly and openly with. I happen to have a couple mentees and I also have mentors, but I was talking with this person recently where he got his annual compensation adjustment and he wanted to talk with me about, did that feel fair? Did that feel enough? His gut check was that it was a little light, and I was able to talk with him about that and even provide some data that I had on what I thought was market for that position. And third, they could well be someone who's going to make introductions. And that's why you want someone who you haven't necessarily, who's not in your inner circle, so to speak, someone who's a little bit different, a little bit distant, who has a whole collection of other relationships that are outside your relationships could be helpful to tap you into a whole nother network of people. So ideally, they're going to be someone who takes some sort of interest in you, wants to help you along, and is therefore going to make some introductions that'll be helpful to you that might lead to a job or another connection. And generally, I've found that less is more. So to have, 2 or 3 meaningful mentors might be more beneficial than you've got 12 different mentors out there that you're trying to keep in touch with. If you can have just 2 or 3 or sometimes 1 that is just really a deep connection and you have a bigger relationship, that's really helpful. But I try to get a couple, and always pay it forward when you get further along in your career. If you could help others, I absolutely recommend that. That can be really fulfilling. And so you may now be asking yourself, how do I get one? That sounds great, Matthew, but how do I actually go about getting one? Well, great question. And we're going to talk about that in another session. If you're interested in that, I recommend you check out my session on networking. Thanks for joining. If you like it, please click the like button and check out my other videos. Thanks.